It started in 2018 when Mr. Mufara decided that he was going to create this digital marketing platform. And the idea at the time was to make a way for anybody to work from home, to work from anywhere actually, and to make a living, and not just a little bit of a living, but make an okay living, easily, to bring success. Now, fortunately for us, Mr. Mufara, he had the wherewithal to make all this happen. But more than that, and this is the crux of it, he was determined to do it the right way, in a very clean, fresh way. And to do that, he had to back up a bit and create a model, a business model that would handle what he wanted to do. Because in the conventional world of marketing, it just didn't exist. So that's exactly what he did. He developed a revolutionary new business model that was based on connectedness and mutual benefit, right? And what it's done is created a path to making the conventional business model, which is based on profits and products, obsolete. So we're going by the wayside. We're just dropping that one, bringing in this new one. And as Mr. Mufara has told us more than once at the start, there was only a general plan. He had a strong desire and he had a slogan: do it or die. And that's where we started from. And it was from the onset that this new business was actually infused with his desire and his will and resources to lift humanity by raising the human condition through a combination of heart and high tech, which would be its platform. And that's a philosophy that we come to know and love, and is encompassed by the term AI with heart that Mr. Mufara coined a few years ago, and we use on a regular basis. Now, the first year, we tried to work out the kinks in the original idea of becoming that network platform that Mr. Mufara was actually developing the concept for. And that original concept, as he put it out, it had a max window for launch of about 90 days, and it had a meager budget, 100K, right? We expected to serve probably 200 to 300 million marketers over the next 3 years. And that was the sum total of how we started. We really expected to launch early in 2019. I mean, in February, I was rubbing my hands thinking, here it comes. But it didn't. Because Mr. Mufara had worked with marketers in several countries globally, he knew of a company in India at the time that was downsizing, and he hired some of those employees to be our first tech team. Now, that was around third quarter 2018, before we even had a name. And that office was in Calcutta, which is in West Bengal in India. And Mr. Mufara's idea was to create a business with a life-changing journey that had a simple pathway, a business pathway, if I could use that term, that others could use to join into the business and to enjoy and join that journey. And that path, that business pathway, was developed through what we've come to know as the founder position. And at the time, Mr. Mufara and all of us actually only expected about 3,000 to 5,000 founders to be in before we were going to launch. Look where we've come, right? Now, one of the first things the tech team did was to automate a platform for the founders, which could be then used as a marketing tool. And it allowed us, the founders, to effectively communicate with each other. This platform was called Go Founders. If you've been in here for a while, you know what that is. You've heard it. You've seen the journey of it. And it was that platform that used the market prowess, so to speak, and gave us the opportunity to stay in touch with each other as well as the company. We got our name on Passive in the fourth quarter also of 2018, because when we first came out with Go Founders, we didn't even have a name yet. So you really got to love that, he just stepped out on blind faith, and it's been a beautiful journey ever since. And incidentally, our name on Passive is correctly spelled, all uppercase letters. So that's the only way to spell it, and that's the only way we do it. And we got our first welcome message from Mr. Mufara in Go Founders in December of 2018. Now, a lot of us probably know, if you don't know, you should know, the founder's position is the only position that was available through that platform. And it allowed us, the founders, a ringside seat to everything going on. We could attend private webinars, we could pre-build networks, we could track growth, all sorts of stuff. And through it, we could also witness, right? We could be a part of the evolution of what would become a fantastic company. And it was only available in pre-launch, and that position is no longer available for new registrations. So if you're watching us and you're not a founder, you've missed that opportunity, but there's more ahead of you. So, and also in fourth quarter 2018, we registered that name, Go Founders, before the year closed out. And before the year closed out, we blew right past that 5,000 founder mark that we thought would probably be the limit to what we were doing. And moving into 2019, the foundership quickly went into double-digit thousands, and we were so excited. I'm telling you what, that momentum gave OnPassive, gave Mr. Mufara and his team the confidence to take on a greater vision of forming not just a few products, but a suite of products. And he also increased the budget significantly, which you would certainly expect. Now, it was a bumpy road, to say the least, but OnPassive persevered from that time all the way through, and getting toward the end of the first quarter, it was really starting to pay off, and the momentum was building. And by the end of March, we had about 20,000 founder accounts already registered and active. And that was more than anybody had previously even dared to think about or dream. That just blew our thoughts right out of the water. And by April, right, and Mr. Mufara's words for what we did in April, he said, you know, quote unquote, we finally, we got it right. And he started from that point on, right, and started to develop the tools that eventually became the product suite. And about late second quarter or so in 2019, he came out with a vision statement, almost, yeah, it was 3 years ago. And with that, we started what we call the paradigm shift that is OnPassive. Now, that vision I am going to share here because it's simply a beautiful thing. It hasn't changed one word since he brought it out 3 years ago. And it says, OnPassive is the ultimate, complete, and unique digital marketing platform that ensures everyone succeeds regardless of their backgrounds or ability by offering the simplest environment with the highest standards and the most value while sustaining the benefits of a global stimulus plan. And if anybody has seen the journey of OnPassive, you can see that thread wrapped around and in through and part of everything we've ever done. So going through 2019, about mid-year, they did another serious evaluation, a restructuring. The tech team got a brand new office in Bangalore that was, at the time, was known as the Silicon Valley of India. And we took on some more staff. And it was about this time that we experienced the first big jump in our evolution, because Mr. Mufara had decided that OnPassive was going to become a comprehensive digital solutions provider, right? And that meant, in his words, and you may remember this quote, game on. So, I mean, he stepped in with the big boys and he was making it happen. And that was the first big evolutionary step as we increased our scope from marketing, right? From that meager marketing platform to the information technology arena, specifically the information technology business sector. And that was a sector, and is a sector, that deals with computing to include software, telecommunications, and generally anything involved with communications or with systems that are involved with the transmission of information. That's the arena we stepped into, and now we're a beast in, right? And that gave way to the development of some spectacular ideas and more evolutionary tales for us for inventing new products, for reinventing existing ones. And he even started thinking about and bringing the whole thing to the drawing board, as he talked about physical products. All that started back then. And man, I'll tell you what, we've grown, you know, and as we brought on new talent, the product base grew. The development of all the digital products and things that we know today started emerging. The founder growth maintained a momentum, right? I mean, it kept growing, so that by by July 2019, we were up over 30,000 founders. And again, Mr. Mufara realized at that time that the automation that he kept asking his developers for, it just wasn't possible, because we were using conventional technology and we did not have the expertise at the time to add the features that we wanted, not without resourcing, right? But because Mr. Mufara wanted to keep everything in-house, he hired more developers, he hired engineers, right? Brought in some mechanical engineers, right? And so now we're not only writing stuff from scratch using that conventional programming, but now we're writing and developing our own AI, artificial intelligence, or more specifically, machine learning for automation and such. This made it possible to have everything that we were doing done in-house. We didn't have to share it with anybody or ask anybody's permission. And at the same time, it allowed us to streamline efficiencies in the products and the platforms by writing the AI automation into them. And that was another milestone in our evolution, because adding AI and automation to the products, we quickly integrated its parts, right? And as we continued to hire staff and we continued to add more newly created products, then it got bigger and smarter and sweeter and faster. And all of these things, when you add that to the advanced marketing platform with full automation, it became what we then called a digital ecosystem of smart products. And that was a smart business solution. Again, part of our evolution. And that smart business solution was the first time we'd seen that entire thing encompassed. The world had never seen a complete smart business solution before. And that was another evolutionary milestone for us. But going into the last quarter of 2019, we hit 40,000 founders accounts. A lot of our products at the time were going through multiple releases. You had heard Mr. Mufara talk about adding features and functionality, and they were continually having those added to them. And Mr. Mufara had this to say at the time, and this was a quote from Mr. Mufara in November of 2019. So I quote, "We are starting much stronger than other companies like Google, etc. Our staff has come from companies like JP Morgan, Apple, Wells Fargo, etc. Like Google at its beginning, OnPassive is a movement, and we too will become a global leader. In this way, we will be way above the crowd." And he is absolutely right. That turned into something that turned out to be prophetic. And as we cross into the new year, we crossed 50,000 founder accounts. Man, I mean, that's more than anybody ever thought, right? Now, shortly after that, we saw COVID-19 come in. It reached pandemic status, and India was hard hit. Our IT hub was actually shut down or conducted, minimal ops as directed at the time by the Prime Minister more than once. Let me kill that. Sorry about that. Those things that happened, all of those things happening during the pandemic, and the shutting down or the minimizing of the offices and the staff and all of that, every bit of that continued right on. We didn't see any stop in progress, and not once did we ever see Mr. Mufara lose heart. Instead, he just adjusted the trajectory. He managed the expectation, and he just kept moving. You gotta love it, because that's the way the man goes. He doesn't understand what quitting is, and life is pretty good. So he continued to just push that technology. We expanded it more by adding more high-level IT products. And Mr. Mufara, you remember him saying, "We're beefing up our products," right? I mean, that was a term he used. We're beefing them up, making them more robust. And we were doing that to the existing products, so that these existing products now became their own departments, and they were methodically becoming standalone capable. Now, every one of our departments are able to be standalone, and not only that, but they're able to be unicorn capable. So they're their own revenue center, and they can be very, very, very lucrative. So that by the end of the first quarter in 2020, we also had about 70,000 founders. Now, as we continued the development of the products and the programs and the services, and all that. And they were just, we pushed the digital evolution along at such a rate that, I mean, it exceeded everybody's expectations. The Go Founders membership took on a lot more momentum and growth at that time as more and more people realized the magnitude of what we were doing, the sophistication of what we were doing. I mean, the tech world, they were watching us. They knew who we were. They knew what we were doing. And so we just kept running on, growing in momentum. And 3 months later, by the end of June, we had hit 100,000 founder accounts. And of course, by this time, we're still adding staff. He's adding it at a higher rate. We're getting more attractive quality leaders as well as staff members. And 3 months later, by the end of September 2020, we had doubled again, and we had to hit the milestone of 200,000 founder accounts. Man, we thought we were in hog heaven by that time, right? But by the end of October, we had dozens of departments within OnPassive, each of them standalone business capable, and the founder accounts hit 250,000. Man, I mean, 250,000 accounts. Unheard of, never seen before, unprecedented. OnPassive had become a groundbreaking artificial intelligence information technology company, and Mr. Mufareh's vision had become the DNA of that company, which was built on a revolutionary business model with intellectual property, with proprietary cutting edge technology. It was all interwoven and had innovative AI driven products and the marketing platform, and every bit of it all spiraling, so to speak, outward to form what we call the world's first total internet solution. And at the time, Mr. Mufareh explained it like this, and I quote, "You pay and you own the world. That's it. That's what OnPassive is. Everything you need to communicate, to learn, to educate, to earn, to connect with the world, to promote your business, any activity that goes around your daily life, today's life, is already in OnPassive. Once you make that payment, the light goes on." And man, I'll tell you what, he hasn't hit him up. He's kept right on trucking, right? Now, moving into November of 2020, when he said that, we hit 275,000 founder accounts. We outgrew Kolkata office. We moved to Bangalore. We outgrew Bangalore, did that rather quickly, 2 or 3 months. And rather than expanding Bangalore, we actually moved the hub to Hyderabad, a place called, Hyderabad. And in that building, we actually occupied 2 of the floors while they were renovating 2 of the other floors. And I think there were 7 total floors in that building, 2 on the basement, 1 on top, 5 in between. So they actually, I believe, had 5 working floors in that. Now, February, going into 2021, February saw us hit 500,000 founder accounts. Wow. I mean, that's when we put the beta links of the first products in the back office. And so it went. Now, OnPassive went on to update Go Founders. It became, I think there was like 6 times. And on the 7th, he just threw the whole thing out, redid it, and he brought in the new platform. We called it O Founders. This was November of 2021. And we called it that so that it would fit the OnPassive O theme of everything else. Now, recently, we've begun another change that is going to put O Founders in what we now call the OnPassive Business Solution, the OBS, which houses the entire digital ecosystem, marketing platform, and a whole lot more. But this is just still the beginning. That's what makes this journey so incredible, because we're always with the new beginnings and always heading toward new tops. And our platform, the the OnPassive Business Solution, is going to severely disrupt both the online current marketing model and the online business model. And it's going to allow millions, eventually billions of us to get financially unstuck. OnPassive is going to lift us up and out of current circumstances of lack and failure through a powerful, sustainable, completely online digital marketing platform such as the world has never seen. And this will only grow as the world sees that what we're doing, which incidentally has never been done before, is going to be done right, and it's going to be done for the benefit of mankind. And we have everything needed to automate any online presence. It's all scalable, it's all fair, and it's all priceless. I mean, the value we offer is unsubstantiated anywhere in the world, and the sheer magnitude of what OnPassive has developed can stagger the imagination. And that includes, without limitation, the complete the complete digital ecosystem with all the marketing and the traffic and financials. It also, however, man, this is where it gets really cool as we go into the future, because we're also including the physical products, which now number in the hundreds, right? These include new inventions and products never before seen that are going to touch every industry on the planet. It includes data centers. The first one's done, second one's being done. The experts that are being onboarded, they're going to be able to host about 5 billion users, hybrid, remote, tier 1, tier 2, et cetera, unlimited, cutting edge, state of the art centers that are going to be the best on the planet. I mean, Ash is working on this massive dream data center, right? Hybrid, in the cloud, being scaled. And he's also talked about having mobile data centers on vehicles that can drive anywhere, remotely, wirelessly. Wow, right? We're talking innovation labs, right? 2 of them are done. The first one is being used for AI and futuristic tech, right? Anything that can identify as a need that we can create a solution for. The second one is for physical products, and that second one actually has 2 offices, 2 branches in different countries, right? The first one is in a specific sector. As yet, as far as I know, he hasn't told us what sector that is. I believe it's unnamed, but it's a specific sector. The second one is set up to revolutionize products that have been made by fossil fuels and that sort of thing, by replacing them with a lot better alternatives. And there's a third lab that's supposed to be opening in October in yet another company, which is absolutely, it'll blow your mind when you think about what he's getting into, because this one's going to be focused on behavioral sciences, specifically the behavioral aspects of children, right? We also have new departments. Mr. Mufar recently gave us information about a department we didn't even know exists, that he called EduMedia. It's a blend of education and media. And this O-Media has like 20 professors, PhD level educators. They're either full-time or they're consultants throughout several countries. And one of their projects is an ongoing communication right now, right, in global proximity, that has communication with about 1,500 universities to work with them for endorsing Academy and vice versa, perhaps. There's also a proposal by, in one country to use our product, Academy, a pillar, phenomenal product, as a default education platform, right, through the use of tablets, which the education system use. And that population of that country has got 110 million. So can you imagine? I mean, this means we're going to be part of the education in a very culturally innovative way for generations. Now, it's even drawing down to more excitement, because in the next 60 days or thereabouts, it's kind of dynamic, but the world's going to see marketing carried out on a global level by OnPassive, which is soon to be the greatest company on the planet. And we're going to have events on at least four continents. We're going to see massive branding starting in India. It's going to have paid advertising campaigns. We're going to see Doha, the capital city in Dubai, flooded day and night with our message, right? The Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, with it's literally going to be our billboard for a while. It's going to have our message on it, right? Come the new year, it's going to have the lasers put on it all the way through the end of March. And Mr. Mufar has indicated we're going to put as many displays as possible up during that time. It's going to be phenomenal, absolutely spectacular. Now, moving into November, we're also preparing to blanket the world with marketing that's done through the partnership with BN Sports to sponsor the live streaming of the soccer games, the one that everybody knows is the World Cup, right? The global sporting event that billions are going to tune into. And Mr. Mufar has been talking about driving traffic. He talked about that the other day and said, when he gets on board with that traffic company that he's got, that he's hooking up with, that he's partners with, he is going to dominate the traffic. And this is going to be targeted, focused, exclusive traffic. It's, man, we are really, really getting to the point where our lives are going to change. And all of these things lead the market. Everything he's doing is leading the market. It's preparing the way so that the public, so everybody in the world knows where to go. And obviously, they're going to be going through us. the founders. And all these things point to lifting humanity at every conceivable level and empowering us all with a voice. And it's going to take just one of these things, if we look at it, to boggle our mind, but in totality, it's absolutely unheard of. It's unprecedented. And what we're doing has never been done in history, and never before has a single company sought to achieve and share such a far-reaching initiative for the greatest good of the human race. To say that OnPassive is going to be a unicorn in day one is to state the obvious. In actuality, we're going to qualify as a unicorn many times over, coming right out of the gate. So we need to get engaged with confidence, knowing that OnPassive has been designed to lift humanity through compassionate action, and that we are all significant in our unique way to help achieve that. We are truly in it to win it. We're going to win bigger together, and we are getting ready to be in the best shape of our lives. So thank you so very, very much. There is no company on the planet that will give you more value for the cost than OnPassive. No company.